Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Buenas son. Good night. Buenos noches. Sapase wagwan. You already know. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk real talk tonight. Welcome to a world where us, the African diaspora, are gradually awakening. Yes, there's a lot of the culture that's still asleep, some dead, but for the most part, a lot of us are awakening. I want to talk to my people today about the effects of media within the African American culture. Due to media and society's portrayals of us as Africans, I feel we automatically have this label marked on us as if we can tolerate pain more, we're quicker to anger, and are less emotional than other cultures. I realize due to these labels and negative associations that, we just accept and don't question, we automatically go with that portrayal. Why though? Simply because that's how we've been taught to think. See, we don't think for ourselves. We allow others to think for us. Due to this, we're held captive on a mental level and don't even acknowledge it. Due to what we see within media, we forget that men have feelings too. We automatically look to the man as the one on top, like a hierarchy, the dominant one. We assume that men can take the hurtful talk and disrespect and heal instantaneously, as if men don't have emotions too. Our culture doesn't have an understanding of emotional balance and treat men harshly for not being macho. So when a man actually expresses his feelings, we see it as a sign of weakness. But it takes a real man to truly express himself. Why is this seen as a weakness? To me, it's a strength for a man to keep it real. Due to media, we assume that women can't do things the way a man can. And us women, well, we need to be the ones in the house cooking and cleaning. And I know there's a bit of women who don't know how to cook or clean, but that's another topic for another day. Reality is we're living in a different era. We lack balance when it comes to our relationships. Understand that there were times, and still are times, where women didn't have the opportunity to work due to wars, due to political bias, due to a more male dominant culture. Even though we still have a lot of those things going on, women are in a better place today than they were in the past. Women have been looked as inferior in comparison to men, yet this is one of the reasons why our relationships are off balance within these times. See, it made sense back in the days for women to stay home because during those times they couldn't work. So it balanced out the household because the man would work while the woman handled the house and the kids. But now we speed up to today where a woman not working is damn near impossible unless she's got a sugar daddy. Then congrats to you, girl. With bills, rent, and maybe kids to have to deal with, just to keep up the home, she has to work as well and make income as well, or else somebody's going to be homeless. Even though I say that jokingly, it's a reality within today's society. According to HUD's, which is Housing Urban Development HUD, Section 8. And yeah, according to HUD's annual point in time count in 2018, 552,830 people were experiencing homelessness on a single night. One nasun, una noche, that's one night. Women are still seen as a footstool in some of today's more male dominant cultures. But out of all cultures of women, I would have to say the black woman gets it the hardest. Simply just take a look. If we're not being criticized about how unprofessional the natural state of our hair is, yes, this is a thing, then it's our attitudes that people love to say we have because we speak with more passion within our culture. Yet other cultures tend to label this passion as aggressive because they are not familiar with our culture. Not like certain cultures care to learn about us, anyways. They base our culture off of what they see in media. They think of us as loud, ghetto, most likely single with kids, baby daddy drama, on welfare, and speaking an aggressive tone. Us black women have a lot to take on when it comes to society prejudging us. It hurts. But it has to hurt the most when we get disrespected by our own brethren who experiencing the struggle just like us. I came across a video some years ago. In this video, this white girl was talking about how a black man would prefer her over a black woman because she's not a gold digger like black women and because she knows how to take care of her man. As she continued to talk, all I was thinking, gal, just say it's because you're white. I know you want to say it because your body language is saying it all for you. But you could see how she tried to avoid saying it directly by saying these comments instead. There was one point where she said, black women are trying to be like me with the weaves, the contacts, and blah, blah, blah. I was already livid by her statements about black women because our culture is diverse and you cannot generalize the whole race because of stereotypes. But what really vexed me was when I seen the majority of the black brethren commenting and agreeing with her, especially with her comment about black women are trying to be like her. A lot of you brethren agreed, saying she's right. Black women do be wearing the weaves, the wigs, the contacts, and are trying to get lighter like white women. She's right. Now, this is why it's hurtful. Because black women are not doing all this to mock the white culture and be white. They're doing all this because this is what they know as black culture. See, if you brethren really appreciated us coca divas, you would represent us more in media. But you don't rep us, and I mean all of us. A lot of you are thinking about you like a long hair, thick, red bone. You want a bad, cute face, slim waist with a big behind. Yeah, we all know that song. Come on, let's be real. You show us all these women you claim as foreign that are light skinned or white, causing bias towards sisterins of darker complexions. Women with more fluff, such as myself, no shame, were frowned upon when there's a good portion of the women within the culture with some fluff. Some of your brothers too. We ain't gonna leave y'all out, y'all. Yeah, there's some boys out there with a little bit of fluff. Ain't nothing wrong though. You show so much praise and appreciation to these Instagram type models that y'all have built up these fake perceptions of what a woman has to look like. Then you shun a black woman for being naturally herself, for rocking her natural hair, for not looking like what you see on TV, social media in general. And I'm not trying to generalize all brethren. This is just for the ones who don't realize there's a problem. Due to this type of culture, it brings nothing but insecurities within black women who already struggle enough with everyone's perceptions and prejudgments of them. But to get it from you brothers, it hurts the most. I always preach this. Black women will start loving themselves much more once they see you brothers loving black women more. I love myself. And I love you brethren out there just as well. But I love my hubby. That's my number one love next to God. God's always first. We know that. That he's next. That's mine. Many black women have this natural love for you brethren. You say you want a girl with long hair. So these sisters go out and put in these weaves. You say you want a sister that's red or light skinned. So you have these sisters bleaching their skin just to get your attention. Yes, for the ones who don't know, bleaching really is a thing. And these companies that invest in making these bleaching products, boy, they banking. But that's another discussion as well. After a black woman tries to turn herself into everything you brethrens claim you want, you still turn around and treat her like shit. You shame her, call her a and hoe, talk to her any type of way. Yet, isn't that what you wanted? So, no, miss me with that. Black women are being as black as they know to be. They are being everything that you all push out in media. But then again, how can I be mad with some of you brethrens? A lot of y'all don't even realize how you're influencing these women with their trying to be white behaviors by accepting this culture that media pushes out. You feel me? But I'd be wrong to be putting all the blame on just the brethrens, because some of you sisters need to appreciate the brethrens more. Yes, yes, girls. I'm not forgetting y'all. Because like I said, we need balance. Why is it that some of you sisters have to scream at these brethrens as if they are children? Use them, verbally abuse them, say they're not shit. Shit is not a bad word. We need to really talk about what's considered cuss words and what's not. Because I come from a sarcasm type family. But anyway, yeah, you verbally abuse them, say they're not shit. Give them the real definition of attitude and expect them to still respect you at the end of the day. How can you expect these brethren to appreciate you when you don't appreciate yourselves, ladies? There's a lot of you women who are living out the stereotype and wouldn't know the presence of a good man even if he was standing right in front of you. A lot of you have been conditioned to think that men are only here to provide you with materialism. You want the new purse. You want the money and believe the kitty cat is all you have to give him to make him happy. Yeah, there was I remember watching an actual video, a show, I think it's an African talk show if I'm not mistaken, where the girls were literally saying that all they need is, all they need is some of that and they don't got to do nothing else. We got to talk about this. But you expect these brothers to take care of you. Yet some of y'all can't even show a virgin a little appreciation by cooking dinner for him. Do you buy him gifts? Why is it that the man always has to buy us gifts? Do y'all give men gifts? I got a story on that later. But you expect him to do so much for you while you disrespect him, argue with him, and then think that giving him some cheeky, that's what we call it, is all you have to do as a woman. So you gave it up just because he bought you a Louis bag, sis? Look, both sides of the culture have a lot to work on. We all do. We're not perfect. None of us are. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We all have our trials and tribulations. We've been so broken for so long and haven't received proper healing from our traumas that we don't realize how bad our mental health is. We need to talk about these problems so we can find solutions to bettering our relationships. We're so fixated on how media portrays us that we start to act out that way because of what we see. Some of you sisters see chicks in reality shows and media causing drama, talking mess, and fighting with other chicks in media because she looked at me funny. So then you guys start to fight with chicks who looking at you funny in real life. Check it. You know how many times I've had like a sketch out of, or what y'all call a ratchet? The sketchada. Randomly be like, yo, what the you looking at? Or why she looking at me though? Or why she sizing me? Or my favorite. You got a problem? While slamming their fist in their hand, shrugging their shoulders like they're going to fight you. And you were probably just looking in that direction to see if the cross sign light changed to walk. I mean, yo, it's not that serious, sis. Some of you virgins are doing the same, just in different ways. You literally listen to these rappers and celebrities with their content. Yeah, they're showing you how you got a bad bit. Yeah, a bad bit. I didn't say the actual word, but that's just the Florida slang. We say bad bit. Not the actual word. Florida folks know what I'm talking about. Anyways, you see them on videos getting clicked up, wearing these big fancy diamond chains, talking about they finna hit a lick or they finna rob some mofos. You hear them brag about their sneaker game and make it seem like good looking sneakers makes you rich. J's on my feet, yeah, get like me. You all start to dress like them and then take their lyrics so literally. Brothers feel like J's are life. You will rob another brother for them. Let's recall the case of Darren Taylor, who back in 2016 was charged with murder and sentenced to life for shooting Joshua Woods for a pair of Air Jordans. Shoes that you all get ripped off by paying $200+ for, when the cost to make them may just be a little over 16 bucks. Wow. Was $16 worth a life? Was $16 worth a life? Was $16 to a life? Not only did a family lose their own to a bullet, but another family lost theirs to the system. There's an opinion article I found on Citizen Times called The Real Causes of That Pair of Sneakers. And it was discussing how a symbol like Air Jordans has a psychological effect on people. After reading this article, I can say I agree with Buddy, because brethrens are killing other brethrens over shoes. Yet y'all don't want to talk about mental health, right? We don't have those type of problems some of you believe. Yet brethrens are killing one another over shoes. Do you really consider these mentalities healthy? Because if you do, then I really must be the only one with mental health issues, because that ain't normal. Y'all wonder why we have anxiety at high rates these days. You guys wonder why we're falling in and out of depressions. Look how we're triggered. Look what we're exposed to. What's healthy about these mentalities our sisters and brethren are exhibiting? We're all exhibiting them. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, African Americans are 20% more likely to experience serious mental health problems with the general population. Wow. And think about how many times people talk about not reporting mental health. Can you just imagine how far up that percentage would even go? Wow. Now let's break it down even more. Let's see how this affects our relationships with one another. Y'all don't even love the next brethren or the next sister. So how can I expect you all to have love for your lover, much less yourselves? You love him, sis, yet he calls you out of your name. He disrespects you. He only calls you when it's 5:30. The only time I'll ever buy your okay, sorry. Yeah, you know we like the weekend. He lives up in your house, yet disrespects you. Is it faithful? Puts his hands on you, yet that's bad. You his queen, yet he's using your cards, taking your money, driving your car, just to chill with his homies. Probably is coming in and out as he feels. Most likely doesn't have a job and really isn't trying to get one because he's getting paid by you. He's getting fed by you. He's somewhat satisfying your more sensual needs. I don't think a king will treat you like that, though. Is that what you really call love, sis? Oh, you love her, brah? Yet she won't respond to your text, but is all over the gram. For some of y'all who don't do social media much, that's Instagram. Then she gets mad at you for calling her out on it. She only really calls you most likely when she's hungry and then thinks the goodies is enough to keep you satisfied. While she has her other dude on the side, which is actually her main, and you don't even know you're the side piece. You treat her good, you give her everything her heart desires, yet she rather give her time to a boy. Just check me. You take her places, yet she gives you attitude. Yet you still keep trying to please her. Now she's pregnant, You're excited. She has the kid, and you find out it's not yours. Yet she has the audacity to say you ain't shit. Is that really what you call love, bruh? We think materialism, vanity, and wealth is what will make us rich. Yet some of you don't realize how these type of mentalities is what's destructing our culture. You'd be surprised how many situations I've come across over the years doing social work. The stories that get told will sometimes blow your minds. Tell you, they will blow your mind. What people have really been through, how they're hurting and never got the proper healing from it. So they act out in different ways. Some utilize material things to hide that trauma, drugs, for example. Some utilize material things to feel some sense of worth. Shoes, clothes, diamond, chains. Yeah, there's no real richness in materialism. Richness brings about happiness. Materialism can't make you happy because materialism is temporary. It can be taken away at any moment. Buddha said, happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think. So you can have that Louis bag, but that doesn't mean you're rich or happy. Richness is within love, happiness, enjoying life. That's a permanent feel. You'll always have memories in your head. But that Louis purse, it could be gone tomorrow. Knowing you have love to go home to is an amazing feeling. The bond you share, the connection you have, the energy you produce when you're within the presence of love is beautiful. Oh, yes. That doesn't make you feel rich? Then what's the point of waking up in the morning? A lot of you are yearning for that richness, but we're looking for it within the wrong things. Do you really love yourselves, ladies and gentlemen? Can you wake up in the morning and be happy with who you are as an individual? Or are you like the rest of society following a trend to be someone other than yourself? We're exceptional beings of the Most High. We have to create the dialogue about these issues within our culture. Look, nobody's perfect. None of us are. I'm not perfect. I've said this already. I am a sinner who's probably gonna sin again. Lord, forgive me. That's all we can do. You feel me? But we all have a story. Taking an opportunity to get to know somebody's story can really change how you look at that person, how you treat them. Listen, y'all. Sometimes sharing your story can not only help somebody else get through certain situations, but it can also help you heal by getting it off your chest. When I did case management, the first thing I would do when I'm meeting with a new client is ask for them to tell me a little about themselves. If there's things they're uncomfortable about, that's fine. Keep it to yourself, but this will help me to help you. Because once I have an understanding of your background, I'll know how to approach you. I'll learn what may be okay to you and what may be unacceptable. In most cases, after they would tell me about themselves and I would get ready to go on to the next question, then my clients would just start opening up about a lot more. They respect the fact that I actually took a minute out to get to know them without judging them. And I'm heavily on that. Y'all know. I don't judge nobody. And I try not to. You know, we've all done it once in the past, twice, a lot of damn times. But as we grow as people, we have to realize everybody's gone through something. So I've always tried to take that type of nature on with me. I don't judge nobody. I may not be the best person in the world, but I'm growing. I'm learning just like everybody else. I need healing too, just like everybody else. See, I remember I had a professor, a teacher, and he was talking about a situation about a teenage boy and how He was working with an employee, and the boy wouldn't look him in his eye, and the coworker or whatever felt disrespected. And because he was familiar with the Haitian culture, he's like, when they don't make eye contact with you, that's a sign of respect in their culture. And he said his friend felt bad about it, and sees little things like that that people don't know. So, I mean, if we know those little things about people, their cultures, and have a little understanding, it'd be easier to get along with, but we don't take our time out to, get to know it. This is why we have a lot of issues that we have within society. We simply don't have an understanding of people's cultures and backgrounds. We automatically expect people to know what's right from what's wrong within the culture. See, I expect you to know my culture, know what's right from what's wrong, know what's offensive and what's not. But then I'm not going to take the time out to get to know your culture. No, it shouldn't work like that. I should take the time to understand, hey, in your culture, you don't do this. In your culture, this is offensive to you. My culture, this is this. We don't talk about it. We just get offended and then boom, we walk away, we get mad, we talk smack. And sometimes it's just a lack of understanding, miscommunication. Breathe in, breathe out. Brethren and sisters, you guys don't understand each other. You're not communicating properly with one another. You have no understanding of each other's culture. You automatically believe what media is telling you and aren't really learning about one another's background. Our culture is diverse and everyone is their own individual. We have to take time out to get to know one another, not prejudge one another because of what we see in media. Look at how unbalanced we all are within society. Look how out of sync we are. Brethrens hating on brethrens, sisterns hating on sisterns. There's so much hate going on in the hood that there's nothing neighborly about the hood. Remember, I said it's called a hood and not a neighborhood because ain't nothing neighborly about it. The hood was built that way strategically. It's not a coincidence that the hood's most likely off of a Martin Luther King Boulevard. Like, we all know that. Or in the ghetto. It's not coincidental that there's a police station not even a mile out from the hood. It's not coincidental that the hood most likely has a higher rate in crime. Okay, everything's connected. So we really need to clear our hearts of malice, y'all, and learn to start getting along with one another. Brethren, start saying what's up to one another. There's no need for competition. Y'all are living in the same area. Come together, build it up together. Sis, it's okay to take a compliment from a sister without thinking there's shade behind it. Why is it so hard for us to uplift one another? It's really not. It's really not. Listen, y'all, we continue to expose ourselves to a culture that was forced upon us. We didn't choose this culture, we just helped influence it. Our styles, our ideas have been taken from us. We continue to give Babylon what they want. They took our culture, add some reverse psychology to it, and have allowed us to partially destruct it by playing into Babylon's wicked games. They show you how you should dress so it's easier to put a label on you, easier to target you. They award these celebs who help influence the culture by shutting them up with money. Pay them to act like this, talk like this, dress like this, to be an idol to the youths. Then our youths are already coming from broken homes who never really learned about who they are. So they never developed an inner love for themselves. See and admire these celebrities because they see that they're on boss status and want to get like them. So they think that this is what being black is. This is all they have to identify themselves with. I don't know how y'all feel, but if God blessed me with some pink nose, I wouldn't want my daughter thinking it's acceptable to give herself up to a dude for a Louis bag. I wouldn't want my sons growing up and thinking it's okay to kill for a pair of shoes. We really need to check our mentalities, folks, because like I said, this ain't healthy. So we know media is helping influence a culture that us sisters and brethren don't need to associate with. So what are we going to do to change that? Maybe a little suggestion. First, we need to realize our culture is unique and it's ours. We need to educate ourselves and get in sync with nature again. We need to learn about our history and not the watered down history they gave us in school. We need harmony. We need balance. We need to shift the culture because once you shift the culture, you shift the mind frame. You want the next generations to come to present themselves like kings and queens, to be soldiers, not gangsters, to have an order of chivalry and not a gang of goons, right? You have an order of chivalry, your knights and dames. There's respect to that. But we have to prep them while they are in the prince and princess stages. We need to realize that every melanated person is your brethren and sistren, and we shouldn't be separating ourselves because some of us live in different parts of the world. We need to really elevate our culture to see what's uplifting our culture and what's poisoning the culture. We need to keep the things that's uplifting the culture and do away with all the toxic factors within our culture. If we want to see our culture improve, then we need to start getting rid of these unhealthy mentalities so that we can improve our mental health, our community, but most of all, our minds. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Real Talk with Lady Mprez. Remember, always create the dialogue because you never know who you're helping by talking about these topics. In regards to future content, remember, y'all can go to ladymprez.com. Yes, and answer the CTD questions for future content, for, more podcast things to come. You can make suggestions, add your thoughts, or, simply just vent. Me learning how you all feel about certain topics helps me shed light on topics that matters to people who feel they don't have a voice. It helps me to relate. So, even though they may not have a voice, me, others could help bring that voice to light. So, peace, la paz, amani, pazmani, minazion. And we'll talk soon. Much love, people. Much love. The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively. Bob Marley. Good night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Real Talk with Lady Mprez. Remember, always create the dialogue because you never know who you're helping by talking about these topics. In regards to future content, remember, y'all can go to ladymprez.com. Yes, and answer the CTD questions for future content, for, more podcast things to come. You can make suggestions, add your thoughts, or, simply just vent. Me learning how you all feel about certain topics helps me shed light on topics that matters to people who feel they don't have a voice. It helps me to relate. So, even though they may not have a voice, me, others could help bring that voice to light. So peace, la paz, Amani. Pasmani.